हेलो, जो भी देख रहे हो, वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम। ओके, हमें इतने सारी चीज़ें मिल गई। नाइस। चलो, आज टाइम वेस्ट नहीं करते, जल्दी जल्दी चार चैप्टर्स कंप्लीट करना है हमें। मैंने इसको क्यों बोला। लेट्स गो। Denver laughs as he raises his hands, but there's uncertainty in his eyes. अच्छा, इन दोनों की लड़ाई चल रही है यहाँ पे। Very funny, Berlin. When we get out of here, you should try out for via Semanita. वो क्या होता है? Oh, but I'm not joking. He smirks as he turns to Sato. His gun still trained on Denver. That would appease you, yes, and perhaps stop all these increasingly annoying attempts of rebellion. Sato grins his disbelief, turning to delight. Oh, absolutely. Kill the boy and I'll help you get whatever you're after myself. You can't be serious. Tokyo, you better get up here. Denver looks to the rest of you, growing increasingly panicked. You aren't going to let him do this, right? His gaze lands on you, pleading. Seoul, you're not going to let this happen, are you? Berlin isn't shooting you, or anymore. Or anyone. Oh, so you're in charge now? Funny, I wasn't informed. Berlin grabs Denver's arm and turns towards a grinning Sato. Excuse us, I have some trash to dispose of. You all follow Berlin, who is still holding a furious Denver at gunpoint, into an alcove out of the hostages' line of. What the hell do you think you're doing, Berlin? He wrenches his arm from Berlin's grasp and reaches for his own gun. This bickering between you and Sato is making us look weak. I knew Berlin had a point, but was sacrificing Denver really the only solution? Who cares? Are you really that desperate for the hostages to think you're so mighty and powerful? While my ego may be large, it is not fragile. If the hostages think we are weak, they will be more likely to rebel. Look at what just happened with Gabriela. If Seoul here hadn't tackled her, she very well could have made it out the front doors. We can't allow something like that to happen again, which is why I propose a sacrifice. He smirks, lowering his gun, or at least the appearance of one. What the hell are you talking about, Berlin? I must admit, I am almost flattered that you all think so little of me. But I have no plans to actually murder our dear Denver here, so you can all relax. He motions to Denver. And you can put the gun away. Denver lowers his gun slightly, but keeps it at the ready. I'm gonna need a better explanation than that for whatever the hell is going on. Berlin smirks as he inspects his gun. We only need Sato to believe that you're dead. A flashy gunshot. The screams of the people who care for you. Then all we have to do is keep Denver away from Sato. Sorry. He'll believe he's in our debt and the rest of the hostages will be too scared for any further insubordination. Sorry guys. क्या यार दिमाग खराब. मैंने D&D पे डाला, फिर ट्रू कॉलर का क्यों आया? देखो D&D ऑन है। हाँ, दिमाग खराब करता है, जब आना चाहिए तब नहीं आता। What do you think, Danwa? Oh भाई, this should be your call. If you are not okay with it, I am not either. I'm definitely okay with this. No way I'm gonna let you fake kill me just so that I can think he's one. What? Then I go hide in the basement or something all night? Do you have any idea how humiliating that is? This may surprise you, but your pride is incredibly low on my list of concerns. As the overlapping arguments grow louder, you glance around a pillar and find Adrian smirking beside Sato. There are many different ways to fight a war. Okay, Adrian, it seemed, and decided to try and destabilize our troops. Kaio nudges your shoulder. What are you thinking? You lean closer, lowering your voice so only he can hear. I'm thinking Adrian's fault, hey? It's a bad idea. क्या बोलूं? चलो. He may be erratic, but he is loyal to the professor and will do what's best. Kaio barely contains his eye roll. You really still think the professor knows best? He's the... Hey, मैंने गलती से click कर दिया. कोई ना. Still, Kaio, you two seem to be having a riveting discussion. Berlin crosses his arms as he turns to you. Everyone else seems to think their opinion on this matters, so we may as well hear yours. He looks at you expectantly. Well, we shouldn't make this kind of decision without him. Absolutely not. I won't risk giving away his location for something this trivial. Shooting me isn't trivial. Again, I'm not actually going to shoot you, though that is beginning to sound increasingly appealing. Then let's call him on the secure line and let the police listen while we debate whether or not to fake a murder in order to keep the hostages in line. How do you think that would end? Vote then. Berlin groans and rolls his eyes. Oh, you lot truly are insufferable. Fine, if you really want to leave our fates to the masses, so be it. Turns to the rest of the team. I already know where Denver and I stand. As for the rest of you, all those in favor of allowing this bickering between Denver and Sato to continue unchecked, putting our entire operation at risk. Nairobi raises her hand immediately and is quickly followed by Vero. Wonderful. I take it that means that the rest of you have seen reason and agree with my clearly superior plan. Tokyo nods, and to your surprise, Kaio follows suit. Seoul. Berlin turns to you and expectantly beside him, Denver tenses. It appears it falls to you to break this stalemate. So, what's it going to be? I knew that whatever I chose, someone was going to be angry, maybe even hurt. Who was I going to side with? क्या करे? Oh, this is so tough. And एंग्री होना प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, बट ये है कि अगर डेनवर को मतलब इफ़ वी साइड विद डेनवर, फिर वो सार्टो कुछ ना कुछ करता रहेगा, प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट करता रहेगा। बट अगर बर्लिन के साथ दिया तो डेनवर यहीं पे रहेगा बेसमेंट में, एंड फिर वो, पर उसका कोई भरोसा नहीं ना, क्या भरोसा है कि डेनवर को, अगर उसको फेक दिखाया कि डेनवर को मार दिया तो वो इन लोगों की हेल्प करेगा, कोई भरोसा नहीं। तो आई थिंक आई गो विद डेनवर। मैंने इसको बोला कि कायो से तो बोला कि बर्लिन पे ट्रस्ट करती हूँ, अब कायो ने बर्लिन के साथ दिया है मेरी वजह से। दिस इज सच अ कंफ्यूज डिसीजन, समझ नहीं आ रहा कौन सा करूँ। हाँ ना, कोई क्या करूँ क्या करूँ क्या करूँ, समझ नहीं आ रहा। What was I going to side with? Who was I going to side with? This is such a difficult selection, मतलब चॉइस क्या ही बोलूँ। डेनवर के साथ दिया तो बर्लिन गुस्सा हो जाएगा, एंड वहाँ पे भी इश्यूज हो सकते हैं साथ और डेनवर के बीच। बर्लिन के साथ दिया तो डेनवर और बाकी पूरे इसमें काम नहीं कर पाएगा। दिस इज सो टफ। मैंने कायो को बोला कि आई मीन लाइक, नाम कैसा, हाँ, सियोल ने कायो को बोला कि शी ट्रस्ट बर्लिन, तो उस चक्कर में कायो ने बर्लिन के साथ दिया। अब मैं डेनवर के साथ हूँ तो भाई, दिस इज सो टफ। पर ऐसे भी नहीं कर सकते ना कि उस एक इंसान की वजह से इसका इस मिशन से ही पत्ता काटना, दिस वोंट बी राइट। ओके, आई हैव मेड माई डिसीजन, आई थिंक आई गो विद डेनवर। चलो भाई, आई एम विद डेनवर। You sided with Denver. I'll be like that. Denver gives you a relieved smile. Thanks, Theo. He turns back to Berlin, who surveys his triumphant expressions with boredom. Sorry, Berlin. Looks like this time you lose. If you weren't already so dull, I might feel bad about this. With a speed you didn't know he possessed, Berlin drives the butt of his gun into Denver's temple, then fires 3 quick shots. Tokyo screams as Denver's body slowly crumples to the ground and sound mingling with your own. What the hell did you do, Berlin? Narby lets out a cry of protest as Denver collapses, his gun skidding across the floor out of his reach. Denver lay motionless on the ground and Ears rising, you drop to your knees beside Denver, relief flooding through you when his eyes flutter open. Berlin's bullets passed through the couch beside him and are all lodged firmly in the wall. Soon, he gives you a sleepy smile. Are you okay? He touches his head, where a thin trickle of blood has formed, and turns to Berlin with a growl. What the hell was that? It's time you all realize that this is a dictatorship, not a democracy. What I say goes. Denver sucks in a breath to yell his retort, but Tokyo rushes forward, clasping her hand over his mouth. It's done. Don't fight it. It had all happened so fast, but Tokyo was right. It was done. Sorry. Listen. Sorry. You can hear Sato laughing. Above the sound of the hostages' screams, Sato's grating laugh echoes through the hall. He believed it. Denver pushes Tokyo off and rises from the floor, his face contorted with anger and defeat. He stalks toward Berlin, who stands his ground. You and me, we are through. What a pity. We can discuss our failed relationship later. Right now, we need to move. Sato can't see you, or this whole production will have been for nothing, and I do hate to waste a good dramatic. Cairo, Nairobi, do your best to calm the hostages down. Rio, get back to working on the vault. Seoul, you will help Tokyo dispose of our dear friend Denver. Denver lets out a disbelieving groan. Why don't you just dump me in the ocean? Make it look real. Don't tempt me. Dejected, Denver turns to you and Tokyo. Let's get this over with. As we made our way out of the hall, tension palpable on all sides, I began to worry that things were going exactly according to Adrian's plan. अरे मैं क्लिक करके कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा. कभी कभी इसका समझ नहीं आता मुझे. क्या हो रहा है भाई, आगे बढ़ो. अरे अटक क्यों गए ऐसे. अजीब है, कुछ क्लिक भी नहीं हो रहा. एग्जिट करूँगी तो फिर से स्टार्टिंग से शुरू होगा. अब कोई चॉइस ही नहीं है, कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा. एग्जिट भी नहीं हो रहा. देखो अरे कुछ तो हो. आगे नहीं बढ़ रहा भाई, क्या करूं. कभी कभी कुछ गेम्स ऐसे परेशान करते हैं ना. रुको. tada कैमरा. भगवान दिमाग खराब कर देता है. अच्छा, ये थोड़ा पीछे से आ गया. ये सब हो गया हमारा. वेंट टू हिम, जो क्या था वही करूँगी. Okay, plan. Huh. Denver hangs his head as the three of you make your way down the hall, clearly dismayed. I knew Denver was still disconnected about his fake death, but cheer up. At least now you won't have to worry about paying Sato back when the heist is over. Denver brightens slightly. I didn't think about that. Tokyo chuckles, then pauses as you round a corner. No way. A small cart marked restoration sits in the hall, littered with paint supplies. As its center is a jar filled with vivid red paint. It looks like blood. She turns to Denver with a grin. Now Sato will definitely believe you're dead. Denver is clearly upset. Do we really need to bring fake blood into this? Denver groans as Tokyo lifts the can. Her smile is cold. Absolutely. I'm going to take this back to the hall before Misa-chan's. She winks as she turns towards the color hall. Take good care of our corpse for me. Denver rolls his eyes as Tokyo strides off. Then he turns to you with a sigh. Sorry. So where do you think I should hide out? You're the one who has to be there. Good point. He taps his chin, thinking, how about the kitchen? At least then I'll have snacks. You chuckle, glad to see that he's starting to cheer up. एक मिनट आई अरे सॉरी इस पे क्लिक करना था. Okay, the kitchen it is. By the time Denver and I reached the kitchen, I could tell that his spirits had lifted. I'll let you know when it's safe to come back out. Denver nods as he leans back against the counter, making himself comfortable. Thanks, you. एक मिनट guys, हे भगवान. बाप रे. Anytime. You give Denver a quick hug, then head back to the gala hall. Back in the gala hall, Sato pained as if he were a peacock on display. I always knew that boy would get what was coming to him. It seems you and I got off on the wrong foot, Mr. Berlin. He turns to the rest of you with a solicitous grin. Perhaps we all did. Now that that thief is dead, why don't we start over? Start over? Or are you going to go back on your word like the crook you are? Now, Cyril. That's no way to speak to our new friend. You roll your eyes as Nairobi walks to your side. Those two make me sick. Huh. I'm not sure how much more of their simpering I can take. Nairobi nods and the two of you watch with narrowed eyes as Adrian approaches Berlin and Sato. Mr. Berlin, I must applaud you on your skilled arbitration. In another life, you would have made an excellent politician. Berlin smirks, looking pleased with himself. I appreciate the vote of confidence, Mr. Abarka, but I think I'll leave the manipulation of the masses to men like you. Are you too serious? Are you really going to act like we're all supposed to get along now? In case you've forgotten, Adrian is here to lock us up, and Sato is the reason we are even in this situation. Yeah, but now, Seoul, guys. now, Seoul. The situation has evolved, and we must evolve with it. I couldn't agree more. I see no reason why all of us can't come out of this unscathed. Perhaps now that we realize our interests are aligned, we can resume negotiations. An excellent idea, Mr. Abaka. Why don't we return to my office so we can speak privately? Mr. Sato, you should accompany us as well. He turns back to you with a pointed look. So you'll get down to the vault and help you with the security system. The rest of you keep an eye on the hostages. He smiles as he turns back to Adrian and Sato. These gentlemen and I have some things to discuss. I wasn't surprised that Berlin and Adrian were getting along. If birds of a feather flocked together, they were both vultures. But watching them leave shoulder to shoulder, I worried that their growing alliance might prove to be another obstacle in reaching the teapot. Your gaze drifts to Gabriela, who is watching the men leave with a distance that mirrors your own. Perhaps it was time I made some new alliances of my own. Oh, एक चैप्टर खत्म. कल थोड़ा काम था, दोपहर को एक फंक्शन जाना था, फिर उसके बाद थोड़ा काम था, तो इसलिए कल स्ट्रीम ही नहीं हो पाया. तो मैंने सोचा कि आज 3 चैप्टर्स करूँगी एंड कल 3 होगा, तो प्रॉपर 6 चैप्टर्स तो ख़त्म हो जाएगा कल तक. हाँ चलो, सो नेक्स्ट चैप्टर पे चलते हैं. चैप्टर 12. Six of the Heist. Gabriela and I had no reason to get along, but I couldn't deny that her knowledge of the museum could prove beneficial. And you step towards her, okay? I just had to figure out how to get her on my side. And smart enough to know that whatever conversations they're having aren't going to help you. Suddenly something occurs to you. But maybe you can save yourself. Gabriela eyes you suspiciously. What are you talking about? Well, I know it's Adrian's fault. There are at least a dozen pieces missing from the vault. Gabriela raises her eyebrows in surprise. I take it whatever you were looking for the day I caught you in the vault is one of them. That's none of your concern. What you should be worrying about is what's going to happen if we don't find them. Bape, which is... Someone has to take the fall for this. We can make sure it's you, or you motion in the direction the men left from. We can make sure it's Adrian and Sato. Help me find the missing pieces and I can help you. Gabriela considers for a moment, then leans forward, lowering her voice. Keep asking questions. Not everyone or everything in this museum is as it seems. She leans back, signaling the end of the conversation, and you give her a tight nod. Mind racing. You turn and make your way from the hall. Rio barely glanced at me as I entered the wall room, his face wrinkled with frustration. I knew that look. Things weren't going well. It looks like you're making good progress. Rio sighs heavily. You and I both know that isn't true, but I appreciate the lie. He rests his forehead against the cold steel of the wall. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Was Rio looking for comfort? You join Rio at the security panel, leaning against the wall beside him. I just really wanted to do this on my own to prove myself to the professor, Rio. He wouldn't have chosen you for this heist if he didn't believe in you. Rio shucks, but you see the concerns of his mouth turn up slightly. You think? Absolutely. He turns his attention back to the security panel, running a nervous hand through his hair. I just need more time. It was clear that Rio wasn't going to be able to break into the vault alone, no matter how much time he had. As I looked into his eyes, filled with apprehension, Last. I knew what it was like to need someone to believe in you, and I realized that I could be that person for you. Listen, Berlin took Adrian and Sato to his office, and I'm sure they're going to be a while. Why don't I head back to the gala hall and give you some more time to work on this? Rio looks up in surprise. Really? You do that for me? Sure. Why? Because we are team, and team are supposed to support each other, right? Rio smiles, some of the tension easing from his shoulders. Thanks, Rio. I really owe you one. Don't thank me yet. I can only stall until Berlin gets back to the hall, so you'll have to work fast. Rio nods, determination coating his face as he turns back to the security panel. I'm on it. As the clock neared midnight, the museum entered a strange lull. The hostages, full of food from the kitchens and a fear of Berlin, sat quietly, and even Gabriela appeared subdued. Caio appears beside you with a smile. I know that face. What's on your mind? I was just thinking about... I'm glad you're here. Everything has been so chaotic. I need your help getting back to our plan. Caio nods as he looks around the room. No one is paying attention right now. This could be a good time to go look for the teapot. Where do we even start? The teapot could be anywhere. Caio grins as he steps closer, lowering his voice. Don't get too excited, but I think I know where it is. You found the teapot? Not exactly, but I heard Gabriela and Adrian talking about his gallery earlier. She told him not to worry because his most valuable pieces were safe in the restoration room. Caio, that's amazing. I saw the restoration room on Tokyo's blueprint at the Toledo house. It's near the edge of the museum. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go. The museum is quiet as you make your way down the hall, the sounds of your footsteps echoing off the walls in union. According to the blueprint, it should be somewhere around here. Suddenly, Caio pauses so quickly you almost bump into him. There. He points to a small plaque next to the door at the end of the hall, and your heart begins to race as you read it. Tap on the plaque. The restoration room. You burst the door, heart pounding. It's password protected, and you quickly get to work disabling the lock. Visa execution flapella. उसका नाम क्या है? Gabriela. हाँ. Tayo gives you a proud smile as the lock disappears. Bam, here go and that. Anticipation floods through you as you turn back to the door. This is it. Are you ready? I took a deep breath. Was the teapot really just on the other side of the door? Open the door, let's do this. You push open the door and Kyle follows you inside. Sorry. The restoration room is cool and quiet, littered with half-restored paintings and refurbished statues. There it is. Caillou gestures towards a small table, his voice filled with wonder as the teapot comes fully into view. You really found it. You step towards the teapot and run a careful finger across its edge. When I was young, my mother used to say, "Q, भाई मैं नहीं कर सकती ये." The person who does not risk cannot win. I had risked everything to get here, and as I finally held my family's lost heirloom, I felt everything that I had been through felt worth it as I cradled the teapot. Caio steps closer, his eyes shining with pride. "I'm so proud of you, you really did it." You smile as he reaches out to touch the teapot's handle. All these years later, and it still looks the same. Memories hit me like a flood, and for once I didn't try to hold them back. A smiling family portrait of my parents and I, the teapot resting on the shelf beneath. My father winking as he removed the teapot's lid, showing me its secret. I never told you, but there's a secret compartment inside. My father and I used it to pass notes to one another. You smile at the memory, removing the lid and setting it on the table. We used it to talk about. I would tell him my favorites and he would quiz me on things like the artists' birthdays and their famous works. Beside you, Cairo smiles fondly. That sounds like him. The compartment is invisible to the eye, but if you touch just the right spot, it will trigger the latch. You run your finger along the bottom of the teapot, searching for the trigger, but it's completely smooth. I don't understand. What's wrong? You check again more firmly this time, but there's nothing there. There's no hidden compartment. Your hands begin to shake as you turn to Cairo. This isn't it. What are you talking about? This isn't my family's teapot. It's fake. एक और चैप्टर खत्म. हाँ, आज के लिए बस एक और चैप्टर बचा है, उसके बाद हेलो, वेलकम टू स्ट्रीम. मैं बढ़िया, तुम बताओ. हाँ, आज के लिए लास्ट चैप्टर है, बाकी कल करेंगे. ओ भाई साहब, हाँ, क्यों भौंक रहे भाई, कौन आया? अरे क्या है इसका? This isn't my family's teapot, it's fake. The teapot slips from your hands and shatters against the floor. Ceramic pieces skidding across the tile. For just a moment, I felt like this calmed me. Calamitous chapter of my life was coming to close, but now that hope lay shattered on the floor beside the confit teapot, all I could do was and let my tears flow freely, a decade's worth of pain coursing down my cheeks. Caio rushes to your side and wraps his arms around you without hesitation. It's going to be okay. Caio's words sorry, brought me back to the present. You lean into Caio's embrace, taking deep breaths as he rubs your back in slow circles. It's going to be okay. The real teapot is here somewhere. It has to be. Caio was right. The real teapot might still be close by. But where? The museum is enormous and we are running out of time. Caio pulls you closer. I don't know, but I think I know someone who will. Adrian? Caio nods slightly. This is his doing. It has to be. Adrian, once again my parents' teapot had been ripped from my reach by his. We don't know that. Look. You point to the clay pot you and Caio saw on the first trip to the vault. Beside it sits an identical replica. Okay, he's making replicas. That can't be coincidence. Caio picks up one pot, then the other, examining them closely. They're exactly the same. Everything in this room is from Adrian's vault. He's making counterfeits. You consider the pieces again. None of these are as well known as the art he was auctioning off tonight. He's only making fakes of pieces that can stay under the radar. There could be dozens of each of these floating around Spain. Caio scoffs. I guess that's one way to fund an election. He's even more corrupt than we realized. Who knows how much of the art in the vault is even real? Caio shakes his head. Tell him what? That we went snooping because we are really here on a mission of our own. We have to do something. We agreed that our plan would come first. If the situation was reversed, the professor would do the same. I knew that Caio didn't trust the professor, but would he really keep us in the dark? The professor has done nothing but look out for us. Caio's voice raises in frustration. You really think getting us into this mess is looking out for us? Sure. Your expertise is required in my office. It's time to check in with the professor. You step away from Caio, grateful for the interruption. I'll be right there. Caio steps toward you, his expression nervous. Promise me you won't say anything to the professor about the counterfeits. Promise you? Not yet anyway. Caio smiled gratefully. You should get back to the gala hall before someone realizes we are both gone. Do you need me to send you an escort, Seoul? Caio rolls his eyes. I can't wait to never hear that voice again. We'll figure out what to do about the teapot when you get back. He glances at the floor, still littered with broken ceramic. I'll clean this up in case anyone else comes in here. You should get going. With Caio and a room full of counterfeit art behind me, and my parents' murder ahead, the teapot. Stepping into Berlin's office was like stepping into the smoky back room of a Gentlemen's Club. Adrian and Sato might as well have had cigars clenched between their teeth for how comfortable they looked. अच्छा मैंने देखा नहीं, मैं भी ठीक हूँ, बढ़िया बढ़िया। आई अच्छा, ये यहाँ पे भी रिपीट होता है क्या? हे भगवान, ये मुझे समझ नहीं आता टर्निम का क्या इशू है। Berlin gives you a pleasant smile as you enter the room. Glad you could join us. Seeing Adrian look so relaxed made my stomach turn. Stomach turn. I wasn't aware we were providing the hostages with such VIP treatment. Berlin folds his hands in his lap, tutting, Mr. Abarca and Mr. Sato are not our hostages, Joel. Adrian gives you a smile that makes your stomach turn and Sato chuckles. They are our guests, understand? Guests? Choro. My apologies, gentleman. You force yourself to smile as Berlin pulls a new burner phone from the desk. You glance at your watch and blinking 12:30, and Berlin nods before turning to Adrian and Sato. Remember, gentlemen, everything said on this call will be recorded by Mr. Abarca's friends at the police station. I hope you understand that this friendship of ours depends on your cooperation. He leans forward, resting his hand on his gun. I would hate for the evening to take an unpleasant turn. Of course, we understand completely. Sato gives Adrian a look you can't quite place as you dial the burner and turn its speaker on. Mr. Abarca, are you there? Do you have an update on the situation? I'm here. Negotiations are proceeding slowly, but all of the hostages are still safe. Just as I promised. Berlin smiles as Sato rolls his eyes. Berlin, Seoul, can you confirm? Yes, Professor, everyone is safe and accounted for. Berlin looks to you, clearly waiting for your agreement. Isn't that right, Seoul? Let's hope we are able to continue that way. Sato glances at you wearily as the professor exhales. I would like you remind and our friends from the police that we have every intention of delivering the hostages safely. Now, Mr. Abarca, I've been doing some research since you decided to grace us with your presence. Adrian leans back in his chair, completely at ease. Oh, it appears this is not your first visit to La Paella. You made a sizable donation some years ago, large enough to warrant a gala not unlike the one occurring tonight. The slightest flicker of annoyance crosses Adrian's face, but he quickly recovers. I have a personal connection to this museum. You're correct. Adrian's gaze lands on yours and he smirks. My love for art is no secret. Oh, really? Seems like a strange way to show your appreciation. Adrian's face betrays the slightest hint of surprise. I'm sure I don't know what you mean. Everything I've donated is on display for the people of Barcelona to enjoy. The professor clears his throat. I'm more interested in the art's importance to you than its location. Adrian sits up, straightening his tie. If you're implying that I am here to protect my investments or the hostages' well-beings, you are sorely mistaken. That's precisely what I'm implying. We allowed you to enter La Perla in good faith. Your involvement was meant to ease any concerns about our plans for the museum's guests. But if your interest in tonight's function is more personal, we may have a problem. You see, there's only one cookie jar, and it isn't large enough for us both to fit our hands inside. Adrian grits his teeth but keeps his voice steady. I have no idea what are you talking about. My only concern is the safety of the innocent people inside this museum. Adrian's lies sent a surge of fury through me and I couldn't resist or retort. I suppose that means you and I are excluded. Excuse me? Seol, if there is something that you would like to share, please do so. I knew that telling the professor about the counterfeits could jeopardize my mission to find the teapot. But not telling him could mean failure for the entire team. क्या करूँ क्या करूँ क्या करूँ बताओ कि नहीं हाँ बट कायो को बोला कि नहीं बताऊंगी ये बताने से क्या इसको प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है पुलिस से ही वो भी सोचना पड़ेगा हाँ let's tell him. You take a deep breath. Someone is making counterfeits of the museum's art and I have reason to believe Adrian is involved. Adrian lets out an incredulous laugh, but his eyes are pure malice as he looks at you. Don't be absurd. What reason would I have for doing such a thing? What's your reason? I'm sure the police would love to hear as well. Adrian scoffs. I will not sit here and listen to these baseless accusations. Berlin reaches for his gun as Adrian begins to rise. Please, Mr. Abarca, remember our agreement. Mr. Sato here can tell you that it is much more pleasant to be our friend than our enemy. Adrian glares at you as he returns to his seat. What kind of friend accuses another of illegal activity without any kind of proof? The professor, who has been quietly contemplating his new information, interrupts. Where did you get this information, Seol? I knew that the police were listening to our every word and that I had to be careful. If I said the wrong thing, I could put the professor's plan at risk or expose my own. क्या करूँ? Let's see, Gabriela Pilalte. She was less than thrilled with the little boys' club happening here and told us everything. I felt a momentary gang of guilt for blaming Gabriela, but the flash of anger on Adrian's face was worth it. It was proof that I had guessed right. Gabriela knew about the counterfeits. So you two are working together then? I should have guessed. Adrian's scowl deepens as he turns to Sato. The only people I'm working with are the police. Whether you're innocent or not, Mr. Abarca, I'm sure our friends at the police department will agree that this is certainly an interesting development. It's one I will certainly be investigating further. Thank you for the information, Seol. You're welcome. If it helps to expose a fraudulent politician, even better. Berlin chuckles as Adrian's glare intensifies, his hand curling into a fist. What is it they say? 2 birds, 1 jail cell. Something like that. Berlin find out from Gabriela where these counterfeits are and have Niobe inspect them. The rest of the evening will proceed as planned. Of course, Professor. And Mr. Abarca, I suggest that you now focus on your role as a hostage negotiator instead of an art dealer. Had you been more focused, perhaps this phone call could have facilitated the release of some of your friends. The professor hangs up before Adrian can respond and you end the call. Adrian curses under his breath as he turns to you. You'll pay for that. Oh yeah. Make sure you're prepared because you're only going to get one shot. Adrian glances towards your gun with a sinister smirk. One shot is all I need. As much as I am enjoying watching you two squabble, there are more pressing matters to attend. Seoul, how are things going downstairs? With a start, you remember Berlin believes you have been working on the vault with Rio. Has there been any progress? I couldn't let Berlin know that I hadn't been in the vault. I'm sure he's close to cracking it by now. I'll believe it when I see it. Get back down there. I'm going to go see what Miss Conti has to say about these counterfeit goods. So far, I had managed to avoid raising Berlin's suspicions, but if he talked to Gabriela, he was going to know that I'd lied. She told me where they are. I didn't want to say with the police listening, but I can take Nairobi there. Berlin narrows his eyes slightly, but nods. Very well, take Nairobi to the counterfeits, then join Rio. You move towards the door as Berlin turns back to Adrian and Sato. Gentlemen, I think it's time we rejoin the party. You call Nairobi as you step into the hall. Nairobi, what's your 20? Well, I'm trying to get our lovely hostages to play a game of Never Have I Ever, but they're being incredibly boring. You let out a laugh as she says, well, you're in luck. Meet me outside of the security office in 5. Nairobi's leaning against the wall when you approach relaxed. Hey Nairobi. But I guess this will have to do. You hold up your hands to mimic taking a photo and Nairobi lets out a gleeful laugh. Wait, make sure you get my good side. She turns, striking a pose. What do you think? I think this is a framer. This one is a framer. Nairobi wins. So what's up? Nairobi's eyes go wide as you quickly fill her in. So the professor wants me to determine if they are really counterfeits. That's what it sounds like. Well then, what are we waiting for? Let's get going. Don't अरे यार फिर से अटक गया. क्या करूँ मैं इसका समझ नहीं आता. जाओ. रुको फिर से. क्या ही इशू है भाई इसका. Okay. What's the reason? ये किया था ना मैंने. अरे भगवान कितना पीछे आ गया बताओ. फिल्म गेब्रिएला क्या था. जस्ट में जॉब किया था. लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू हिट किया था. We got it covered. क्या था? ये बाय बाय से रिपीट होता रहता है. चैट क्या ही करूँ मैं. अभी शायद कैमरा लिखा था. आई मीन सेलेक्ट किया था. ये लोग परफेक्ट किया था. Well then what are we waiting for? Let's get going. A shudder ran through me as we approached the door to the registration room. The images of the shattered teapot and the malice on Adrian's face blurred together in my mind. Naomi gets closer, her forehead creased with concern. Are you okay? You're shivering. I couldn't tell her the real reason behind my nerves. Not yet. It's just little drafty in here. She gestures to your exposed midriff with a playful smile. The sacrifices we make for fashion. You return her smile, swallowing your nerves as you turn back to the door. Now let's inspect some art. You laugh as she swings open the door and follow her inside. Naomi immediately heads for the desk, a woman on a mission. She pulls a small eyeglass from her pocket and picks up one of the jewels, holding it to the light. Well, it looks like Adrian has been a very naughty boy. It's fake as that so-called designer jacket Berlin wears. Likes to wear. Niobe smiles and holds out the gem. Sorry. Come, see yourself. You cross the room to stand beside Niobe. She hands you the eyeglass and holds the jewel up in front of you. See how the light refracts. That's what real gems do as well. Someone who didn't know what they were doing would never notice that if you twist it just so. She turns the gem and you can suddenly see completely through it. There, that's how you know it's fake. She grins as she turns to you, her face just inches from yours. Isn't that fascinating? It is. I started making counterfeit money when I was 13. She grins. My friends always told me I was wasting my time learning how to spot other kinds of fakes. I guess I proved them wrong, didn't I? Niobe sets the jewel back on the desk and turns to the paintings, kneeling to inspect them. She smiles as she reaches for the painting of two children playing. Niobe was hurting, but I wasn't sure if she needed comfort or distraction. Ask, पूछता क्या है? Do you think that's a counterfeit too? She runs her finger along the children's outlines. This is some of the best work I've seen. We should be able to use these for planned swordfish, but it would still help to have more replicas of the art in the vault. You glance at your watch and sigh. I guess that means I should probably get back. We haven't heard anything from Rio, which means he must not have cracked it yet. Niobe nods as she stands. You should get going. I am going to stay and inspect a few more of these. She begins to hum as you turn towards the door, and the melody follows you out of the room and down the hallway. I'd hoped that letting Rio work on the vault would boost his confidence, but as I entered the vault, room, I found the opposite had happened. Unaware that you entered, Rio rumples his hair in frustration, shaking his head as he squints at the security screen. Come on, Rio, you can do this. Hey, Rio. I stalled as long as I could, but Berlin sent me back. Rio looks towards you with a start, his cheeks flushing pink. It's probably for the best. This thing is way worse than I thought. You make your way to the security panel, still flashing red. I've tried everything I can think of, but I'm missing something. You lean closer to the panel, inspecting Rio's hard work. He watches intently as you tap the screen. I'm sure if we put our brains together, we can crack it. You can feel Rio watching you closely as you work. How did you get into hacking anyway? You smile at the memory. My parents were artists. My mom played violin and my dad was an art collector. I loved their world, but I wanted something that was my own. That's where computers came in. Rio's smile flatters slightly. Sorry, do they know what you're doing now? Your parents, I mean. Rio's question felt weighted, like his own parents were on his mind. Do yours? Or do they just think you really love computer games? Rio chuckles glumly. They have no idea. They think I'm still working at a security company and saving money for university. And you don't want that? Rio shrugs. Do you? I even got a scholarship to study computer engineering and civil. Damn, that's impressive. Maybe, but I realized that life wasn't for me. Why not? Well, they died when I was 9, and that part of me died with them. Rio's jaw drops and he places his hand on your shoulder. I'm so sorry, sir. I had no idea. The sadness that always came with talking about that was her were me. You reach up and take Rio's hand, threading your fingers through his as he lets out a breath. Thank you. He smiles bashfully as you return your attention to the panel. Suddenly, the panel lets off a faint beep and you grin. We are getting closer. Look. You point to the screen and Rio leans in. I think if we just. Okay. अरे सही तो अरे सही तो फिर से करना पड़ेगा जो रिप्ले गलत कर दिया मैंने फिर से करना पड़ेगा 35 मूव्स उससे कम में करना पड़ेगा चलो अरे फिर से करना पड़ेगा। 34। बस एक और ट्राई। सही था? नहीं, सही नहीं था। यस। नहीं, मुझे फिर से करना पड़ेगा। 40 हो गया ना, 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 ना। हम्म। हम्म। अरे 36 तक है, 34 बेटर था। वही प्ले। अरे ये बेटर था। रुको, मुझे फिर से करना पड़ेगा। अरे यार, चलो वैसे भी फिर से। अरे आराम से। ये भी सही था, क्या कर रही हूँ मैं। बाप रे। 62। नो थैंक यू, मुझे एक और करना है। पहले इसको कर लो। थर्टी। यस, ये भी ना बात। चलो, ये चलेगा। हाँ। You press a final button and the security panel turns green, letting off a satisfying beep. You did it. A jolt of excitement ran through me. We were one step closer to getting out of here. High five. You raise your hand and Rio slaps its palm to yours. Nice work, Seoul. But your smile fades as you realize the security walls are still intact. Why isn't it working? You bend to check the control panel and let out a groan of frustration when you see the message blinking across its face. Lock 1 of 4 disengaged. अच्छा, एक ही? बाप रे, 3 और है। फिर से अटक गया। ओह गॉड। फिर से। ए भगवान, अब पता नहीं कहाँ से होगा। वेट करना पड़ेगा। बाप रे, 3 बज गए। रुको गाइस, इसको खुलने दो, तब तक मैं जल्दी खाना लेके आ जाती हूँ, ठीक है? आई। ओके आई एम बैक, लेट्स। अच्छा यहाँ से शुरू हो रहा है। मैंने किया ना, हे भगवान, अभी 30 मूव्स में कैसे होगा मुझे याद नहीं मैंने कैसे किया था। ट्वेंटी नाइन में कर लिया, बढ़िया। हाँ चलो एक और एक्स्ट्रा हो गया। चलो ये सब हो गया था। वेलकम बैक, थैंक यू। हाई फाई किया था, गो अहेड। हाँ वहाँ तक दिया ना, हाँ यहाँ तक देखा था। भाई क्या ही बोलूँ ऐसे अटक जाता है बीच बीच में। ओह चैप्टर ख़त्म ही हो गया, नाइस। तो यस, आज की स्ट्रीम के लिए इतना ही होता है 3 चैप्टर हो गया, कल 3 चैप्टर करूँगी, प्रॉपर हो जाएगा 6 चैप्टर्स। बचेगा 4 जो होगा थर्सडे और फ्राइडे को। देन वी कैन स्टार्ट विद द न्यू गेम ऑन मंडे। सो यस, मिलते हैं कल की स्ट्रीम पे। हाँ सैटरडे संडे को तो आई स्ट्रीम हो नहीं पाया, थोड़ा काम था तो उसमें बिज़ी हो गई थी और फिर थक गई, इसलिए स्ट्रीम करने का एनर्जी भी नहीं था मुझ में। तो यस मिलते हैं चलो कल की स्ट्रीम पे, तब तक के लिए बाय बाय, गुड नाइट। अरे भाई इतनी आदत हो गई ना गुड नाइट बोलने का रात की स्ट्रीम की वजह से। बट एनीवेज चलो बाय बाय, सी या